I've reviewed some splits on this channel, some featuring 2 music artists, and some featuring 3. But let's add one more to this one in particular. This is a 4-way split by a group of artists from the Christian grind and noise scene. Long Suffering, Rehumanize, Corpse Under Construction, and Eternal Mystery. Together, they brought out a release filled with rapid sounds of either fast-paced melodies or just rhythmic randomness. All that can be heard in the 4-Way Noise Explosion. 4-Way Noise Explosion was released by Sewer Sound Records on April 22, 2008. To my surprise, when I received my copy, the sticky label was removed from the disc very expertly. But hey, this release would not have the underground flair if it wasn't given a homemade pressing. And that undergroundness begins to pour right in when you first play the CD, and the first thing you hear is the homemade handiwork of Long Suffering. Ramon Banda starts blasting away with his hard-hitting grindcore with death metal elements. The first thing you may notice is that the drums seem to overpower everything else. To me, it kind of makes sense, being that the drums are his specialty, and that would even be showcased in the death grind act Consuming Fire, which he soon joined after Long Suffering was no more. And since these drums are the more dominant part of his playing, that's where I feel that urge to play air drums throughout all his tracks. The Long Suffering material takes up the first 8 tracks on the split. They were originally from a demo recorded in 2006. Now, let's talk about Rehumanize. Rapidity begins with Eternal Mystery's own Brock Tony shredding the guitars and drum programming, accompanied by Sorrow Storm's own Felipe Diaz on vocals. This was a very different take on their style of grindcore, different from their subsequent release, Resident Apostasy, where Felipe started playing drums for the project. In fact, all the Rehumanized material from the split was originally recorded for a split with Demonic Dismemberment, titled Human Depravity. It was uploaded to undark.net, which no longer exists, but the Demonic Dismemberment side of the split ended up being removed due to Undark's change of policy towards split releases. Human Depravity became a standalone Rehumanize full-length, but the 4-Way Noise Explosion is where everyone knows these tracks best. The Rehumanized material takes up tracks 9 to 28, a lot more than how many Long Suffering has, but then again it's mainly about the length. And now, on to Corpse Under Construction. You hear that? Rhythmic noise core. Need I say more? Well, besides how well David and Martin Smith pulled all this off. When I first heard a Corpse Under Construction track, I was already quite entertained. And of course, the technology to make this kind of material was very different from how it's done now. You can easily do something like this in programs like GarageBand, but I like the underground feel of these tracks, and those vocals get me every time. The Corpse Under Construction material take up tracks 29 to 42. And finally, there is Eternal Mystery. As always, Brock Tony delivers those killer shreds accompanied by crushing drum programming. That rapid snare drum is like ear candy to me. I sometimes play air drums to it, and let me tell you, It's never easy getting it right on point. And what's more, these tracks also feature more samples played at the beginning. The performance Eternal Mystery brings to the Christian grindcore table never disappoints. It's one of the reasons I'd gone out of my way to find a copy of the split and add it to my collection. These underground treasures should never be missed. The Eternal Mystery material takes up tracks 43 to 53. As I close this review video, I want to thank Big SBM on Discogs for sending me this CD. You can find the Long Suffering tracks on the split through the 2006 demo, the Rehumanize tracks through the album Human Depravity, and the Eternal Mystery tracks on the compilation The Split Tracks, all of which are released through my label Coleiosis Records. That's all for now. See you next time. One more thing. The 4-way noise explosion was made in memory of Jose Barragan from the grindcore project Flactorofia. Rest in peace.